Yo, what is up, you guys? It's Dominator here, and I'm back in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I am going to go over some pretty big news, in my opinion, that I feel like no one's talking about, but it is essentially how to get the Safari Ball or the Sport Ball in Pokemon Sword and Shield with the Isle of Armor DLC. So, let's get right into this. Before we begin, make sure you leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. We're getting really close to 10,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for all the support. And yeah, so when the Isle of Armor came out, it introduced this new item called the Cram-o-matic, this machine. And what it lets you do is combine items you have together to get new items, which you can combine like these berries together. You can combine... Let's not do that. We can combine like any of these items together, and there's so many different recipes to get. But another thing you can do, which is what really interested me, is that you can get apricorns across the Isle of Armor. You can get apricorns across the Isle of Armor and combine them to get the different apricorn balls. Now, the odds are pretty low. It's about a 1 in 100 chance you get said apricorn ball based on the color of apricorns you use. And another really cool feature they added was that there is a even smaller chance that you could get a Safari Ball or a Sport Ball from the Cram-o-matic using these apricorns. Now, normally, the Sport Ball was only available if you did the bug catching contest in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and the Safari Ball was only available if you caught a Pokemon in any of the Safari zones in previous games or in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. So, those were really rare, and it was a cool way to get these unique Pokeballs on Pokemon, even though there's no bug catching contest and there's no Safari Zone in like most modern games these days. So I thought that was a really cool thing, especially as a shiny hunter. It's cool catching shiny Pokemon in unique Pokeballs. So I was all for that. I set out a goal to get a Safari Ball and a Sport Ball for my shiny Authentic Sinistes. I have a shiny Authentic Sinistea and I have it caught in a Safari Ball, and I plan to get another one and catch it in the Sport Ball as well, which I think would be really cool because you can't breed for shiny Authentic Sinistea, and the easiest way to get these Sport Balls or Safari Balls is to breed them down on Pokemon. So I thought it was a really unique way to make it just show that these are even more rare than normal when they're caught in a Safari Ball that you can only get as a 1 in 1,000 chance from the Cram-o-matic. It was all good and done. We got the Safari Ball, and I needed a Sport Ball, but there was a slight issue with that. The issue was, and let me show you my items, is that the odds of a Safari Ball and a Sport Ball were both 1 in 1,000. It's pretty low, but if you grind the apricorns, which I have a tutorial on how to get apricorns relatively quickly, probably the quickest way to get apricorns in the Isle of Armor. I'll leave it on a card on screen in one of these quarters, I always forget. But, yeah, so it's not that bad to grind apricorns. It is a bit of a grind, but after a while, you can get well over enough to give yourself more than 1,000 chances at the Cram-o-matic to get yourself a Safari and Sport Ball. So I got a couple Safari Balls, and I didn't end up getting any Sport Balls, so I just was like, oh, you know, bad luck, no big deal. And long story short, as you can see, I have 4 Safari Balls. I have used 2 already, meaning I've gotten 6 Safari Balls from this Cram-o-matic, and 0 Sport Balls. And I thought there had to be something wrong with the odds. Everywhere it just says they're both 1 in 1,000, but like 6 times odds. And I did like over 7,000 chances at this thing combined. So like 7 times odds for a Sport Ball seemed a bit suspicious because that is very hard to do. It is possible, but is very unlikely to happen. And I was like, how do you get this Sport Ball? I'm getting a Safari Balls. And it turns out other people were having that issue too. But recently, Anubis on Twitter looked into the different outcomes for the Cram-o-matic, and they found something really interesting. I'm going to leave their tweet on screen now, and also, please, 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 go follow Anubis on Twitter, and I also leave the link to the thread on their Twitter, because they go over more than just the Sport Ball and the Safari Ball. They go over a lot of different information, like the different suites for alchemy and whatnot, but essentially, they said that if you combined 4 of the same color apricorn, then you have a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting a Safari Ball, which, funny enough, is what I was doing the whole time. So it makes sense. I was getting a Safari Ball every time. In order to get a Sport Ball, you have to combine 4 different colors of the apricorns together, and then you have the 1 in 1,000 chance to get the Sport Ball. So that would explain a lot. It's a little different than just a straight 1 in 1,000 chance. Let me show you what that means. We have the Cram-o-matic. Let's combine items. We're going to go to our apricorns. Let's say I want to try to get a safari ball. If I want to try to get a safari ball, I put in 4 red apricorns. These are all the same color apricorn. Let's do it. Let's feed it. It's a 1 in 1,000 chance, so we probably won't get it, but I've gotten way too many of these things anyway, so I don't care. I hope I don't get it. Alright, we just got a repeat ball. So, and then it'll say, do you want to keep going? You just keep going. It'll keep putting the 4 red apricorns in until you run out of apricorns. Then just go to 4 blue apricorns, 4 yellow, and so on and so forth. Just make sure they are all the same color apricorn, and you'll have the 1 in 1,000 chance to get a sport ball. Now, if you just want the apricorn balls, it's just a 1 in 100 chance with whatever color you're using. If you do separate the colors, though, it's a 1 in 100 chance you'll get an apricorn ball, but then it'll split it between the different colors you use. So, I would always just do them all yellow, all green, just to try to get that kind of apricorn ball. Doing that with the same 4 colors means I was only able to get safari balls, which adds up because I got 6 safari balls. Now, if you want to get a sport ball, which I really do, and I'm definitely going to grind this out and try to get a couple sport balls, you want to do this. You want to do red apricorn, then blue apricorn, then yellow apricorn, then green apricorn, and have them be different colors when you're combining them together, and it'll give you the 1 in 1,000 chance for a sport ball. If I get it now, that'd be insane, by the way. We did not. We got a great ball. Obviously, it's a bit of a grind. Oh, we're doing it again, which it's fine. We're ultra ball. You know, it's fine. We're probably not gonna get it, but I do want to point out, all it matters is that they're different colors. So I could do black, yellow, pink, red, and that would work. Or I could do green or yellow, pink, blue, white, and that would work. As long as they are different colors and you have all 4 of them being different colors, you have the chance at the sport ball. Now, what they said in their tweet is that it just says, I'm going to read this off. The tweet will probably be on screen now. But it says, it's impossible to get both from the same ingredients. You get safari ball if your apricorns are the same, and the sport ball otherwise. So I'm assuming that also means you could technically do like 2 pinks and 2 yellows, and that would give you the chance at a sport ball. Or like 1 blue and then 3 pink, as long as they are alternating colors and not all the same. I would assume there is the 1 in 1,000 chance at the sport ball. But regardless, I would just go, it doesn't really matter because you're getting random chances anyway. Just go with all 4 different colors, because like so, how it is now on screen, because that will just give you the chance at a sport ball. And this would have been so good to know, because I've been grinding the Isle of Armor for so many hours, trying to get so many apricorns to get a sport ball, and after the 6th safari ball, I had to take a huge break on this. But that was, I'm really glad this information is out there. Again, please make sure you go follow Anubis on Twitter. They put so much work into figuring out all this stuff for the community. They figured out how to do the 500 knockout method the correct way in Sword and Shield. They figured out how to do the catch combo correctly in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They figured out so much stuff. They figured out how time-space distortions work in Legends Arceus. They have figured out so much stuff. So if you do want to know all of the latest information on how to do specific shiny hunting methods, or just know how specific game mechanics work in Pokemon games, follow them on Twitter. You'll see it from them first before you see it from me in a video like 3 weeks later, like I'm doing right now. So I highly recommend you follow them on Twitter. I will leave a link to the entire thread because they do go over all of their findings with the Cram-o-matic, so lots of information there. I just wanted to highlight how to get sport balls and safari balls because I feel like that's something not really anyone's talking about, and it really interested me because I've been wanting to get a sport ball for so long with no luck, and I think this is great knowing this information, and I'm way more motivated to try to grind these apricorns and get a couple sport balls for my Pokemon. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If it did help you out and you are really excited to grind out those safari balls or sport balls, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, if you made it this far, because we're getting really close to 10,000 subscribers, so I do appreciate all the support. But if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe. And yeah, that is gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring those notification bells, all that good stuff. Be sure to join the domination, and I will see you in the next video.